Alright, this is just going to be a short little video going over 5 reasons why I think you should download Retopoflow. It's one of the best Blender add-ons out there. I think it's seriously slept on, and I think everybody should at least try it because the amount of uses you can get out of this thing is amazing. I don't usually recommend Blender add-ons. I think most of them are something where you download it, you use it like 3 times, and then you forget about it. And it's either a waste of money or a waste of space, or it makes your UI look bad. But luckily, Retopoflow is pretty good at staying tucked away, so you don't really need to worry about it like clogging up your entire workflow and, putting a bunch of shit everywhere. Alright, number 1 reason, it is really easy to use. Compared to Blender's user interface, you got all the stuff for rendering on the side, you got vertex groups, you got bones. I don't know what most of it does. I don't mess with most of it. Retopoflow, I was afraid of it because it has a separate user interface, but you know what? It's actually pretty easy. It works out better that way because you're not getting a bunch of stuff thrown at you that you're not going to use. It's just the retopology tools in a nice little box. Forget reason number 1 though, because the main reason why you have to download Retopoflow is reason number 2, and that's the relax tool. The relax tool is a godsend. The relax tool is the best thing I've ever come across in Blender. It is amazing. It's essentially a fix my mesh tool. What it does is it takes all the faces, you just brush over it, and it evens them out. It's amazing for retopology. So the third reason is going to be it's useful even if you make low poly stuff. Most of what I do is low poly. I'm usually just making low poly things. I still manage to get a lot of use for Retopoflow. Obviously, if you're going to be making big AAA game assets and you're stuck using Blender, it's no-brainer. You just stop watching a video, get it. But even if you're making low poly things, it may seem like a big investment for tiny little things you're making. But you can still get a lot of use out of it, particularly when making organic objects. For example, you're making a tree. Making it out of basic primitives isn't going to be easy. Usually you can make most objects in a low poly sort of style with basic primitives, like coffee cup. Just get like an octagon, put a handle on it. Usually that's all I have to do. But if you want anything that's organic, like wood, critters, that's all the organic stuff I can think of right now. Rocks, they're organic, I guess. It will make it way easier. A lot of times what you could do is you could just sculpt out something really simple, even if you don't know how to use the sculpting tools. I don't, and you can still make pretty good stuff. Just use a Retopoflow, just draw over it, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Something that you could do is, if you're trying to make low poly objects, low poly people, stuff like that, you could, go to Mixamo. Theoretically, you could go to Mixamo or maybe Base Mesh, Sketchfab. You could go to any of these websites, download the high poly model, and then draw the low poly model over it. Theoretically, you could do it. I'm not saying I don't know if it's wrong. I don't know if it's cheating. But I don't know. Up to you. Just a little addition to wherever I throw this in a video, because I forgot to put this as one of the main reasons, but it's really useful to make clothes with. There's a video of a guy that makes some really good clothes with this. I've only made clothes using Retopoflow. I've seen videos of people who managed to get one mesh over here and then one mesh over here, and they somehow sew it together, and then they use physics. I don't know why I still have this in my mouth. Then they use physics to have the cloth fall down. I'm not a seamstress. I'm not a physicist. I don't know how gravity works in Blender. I barely know how it works in the real world. I'm not going to go through all that trouble. It's much easier to just draw it onto the guy that you're trying to put clothes on. Look, don't believe me? Look at that video. Watch that video. You'll see how easy it is. And number 4 is easy adjustments. It is very easy to mess up your mesh in Blender when you're not using Retopoflow, I find it's really, really useful to have a sculpted model that I know, okay, this is what I want the proportions to look like, especially with people. Because if I decide at some point, for example, to start adding some topology on the elbows, it's really easy, if I'm not using Retopoflow, to start getting weird indents in the elbow when I'm moving the vertices around. I'm trying to, yeah, you could do the GG and then edge slide, but it's still not really perfect. Retopoflow makes it much easier to make some really big changes to the topology on your model and still keep the same exact form. All right, and the number 5 should be number 1 reason why Retopoflow is amazing is because it's free. It's free. Look at that. You're basically making money with this thing. You're losing money if you don't have it. It's insane that this thing's free. I know I lied in the beginning. I'm a liar. I lied when I said it's $80. It is technically $80. Quite frankly, I don't know what's going on with Retopoflow, but you can just download it from GitHub. I think it's the most up-to-date version. But you could also spend money if you hate yourself, I guess. I don't know why. For most part, it's free. I guess that's pretty much it. I don't really know what the point of this video is. I guess it's just some weird form of brand loyalty. As long as one person downloads it and is convinced that this tool is amazing, I did my job. My job's done.